Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in from all the way halfway around the world from Lyon, France. We have none other than Thaylo with us today. Thaylo, how's it going today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing good. Looks like you're in your studio right now, or are those collector's items? What's behind you right there?
Yeah, I'm in my home studio. Yeah, it's my place where I live. So yeah, I try to make a space where I can stay in peace to make music. But it's my apartment. It's not a whole studio, but I think it's cool to work. I have my piano there, some decorations, like some few guitars over there. I don't know if we can see them. So yeah, that's my place. That's where I work, kind of every day. So yeah.
So, are you a classically trained musician that got into making electronic music? Because I see, you got a piano there. It's not a key. It doesn't look like it's a keyboard. It looks like it's a real piano. You
Yeah.
have a guitar, so you got string instruments in your studio. So tell us a little bit about your music creation process and how did you get into all this stuff?
At the beginning, I started music like 10 years ago. I was only a DJ. Like my goal was to like party with friends, just makes like some birthdays, like really chill, playing Avicii and David Guetta, and was enough for me. But at a moment, I was like, in my opinion, it's not so funny to play the tracks from the others. So I just downloaded Fruity Loop, and watched some tutorial on YouTube, like I guess almost everyone, and just like trying to make music uh, many times. So because I start from nothing, because I didn't uh, learn music in any way. So yeah, I had to start from scratch.
You
Yeah.
know, starting with Fruity Loops, I remember having Fruity Loops 3 back on a laptop that I got back in 2000. And I was impressed with it. I love the idea of a sequencer. I love being able to change things on the fly. I was just in the sequencer part of it. I wasn't even
Yeah.
like making beats or making music. And I came from somewhat of a musical background, musical family, in the sense that my brothers were musicians. And so I knew about playing with keyboards and rack mounts and 8 tracks and 4 tracks and all that stuff when I was a kid growing up. I'm about 8 years old playing with this stuff. But Fruity Loops always blew my mind. That was cool. And in
Yeah.
2001, 2002, when I went to college, I actually ended up buying a Roland MC505 and a Roland SP808, connecting them together with MIDI. And I'd be over at my friend's house just for fun. And we just sit up all night and like, let's make a track. And we just make some stuff on the sequencer and just add
Yeah.
new stuff and
And
take
that's
stuff out,
crazy.
add stuff and turn the knobs and do it all in real time because, getting even those pieces were pretty expensive pieces for a musician back then, and doing a computer
Yeah.
setup in 2020 in 2021 in 2001, you're looking at like a gaming machine basically, three five
Yeah.
thousand dollars to get a decent computer to do it.
I think even more if you started music like with the right way. I mean, like if you learn music with a piano, for example, after if you use like something like Fruity Loops, I think it's like a revolution. Like I can make whatever I want, which you couldn't before.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think it's a great starting point. That the barrier to entry, I talk about this a lot now, especially to a lot of up and coming DJs, up and coming producers. The barrier to entry now is zero
Yeah.
to just start up. And like you said, you started practicing on YouTube, watching videos there.
Yeah.
So many resources,
Funny.
so many tools, and it's kind of like happened to me in the video production business when we were talking pre-show. I started out in public access television with a VHS camera with my buddy who had a show, and then I went to broadcast television, and it was only because of technology made cameras broadcast television worthy. Other than that, there was no YouTube. We were stuck to the
Yeah.
public broadcasting channels, and we could only put that out to a certain region in our area. But
Yeah.
at least when she got the $1,000 GL1 camera from Canon, now I can put a show on broadcast television and be region wide, halfway through our state. And then obviously 2005 YouTube comes out. We got into podcasting, but YouTube came out, and then live streaming after that got picked up and got popular around pandy time. But been doing this for a while, so the evolution though is there, and I
Yeah,
can't wait to see
it's
what comes out
crazy.
tomorrow. We're looking forward to virtual reality and augmented reality already. I always try to
Yeah,
be 10 years ahead of the
I
game on stuff.
I started with virtual DJ. Do you know?
Yeah, virtual DJ. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's like was just for fun. Yeah, but FL Studio is like something really different because it's not that easy. So it took for me a lot of time to, I mean, to feel the how it works because I didn't have any base also with music. So it's cool to have a logistics to make it. But if you don't know what's like I mean, like just a chord or anything in music, I mean, you have to learn both things. That's the point, and that's why it took me a lot of time. And I didn't say at the beginning, yes, directly. I want to make it my whole life. I just like started for fun and took some time, and then I say, oh, there's something amazing. I can make sound design. I can make like engineering with mixing, mastering, a lot of things. Yeah, that's
well,
crazy.
I used to work for Apple. I was a certified trainer to train people for Apple, and I could teach you all. I could teach you how to use Logic. I wasn't teaching you how to make music.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
I did
that.
it as
You got
well.
to go music. Go learn music theory. Go to school for that. Go read some
Yeah.
books. But I can teach you how to use the software.
Mm.
But people can sometimes come and ask me, "Oh, how do I get this sound? How do I make it?" I'm like, I'm not a musician. I'm just teaching you how
Yeah.
to use the
The point is,
software.
it depends. It's a matter of opinions because at the moment I wanted to go a bit further, with music. I was um, in the point: do I have to learn music or do I have to stay alone and learn with my only my vision? But I choose to just learn with myself because I started like that, and I was like, maybe I will have a different vision because of that. It's just a matter of vision. It depends. Opinions. I don't know. I don't know if it's the right way to learn music. Depends what you want to do, where you want to go. Yeah, I think it's like something personal.
Yeah, and as far as your music creation process goes, what is there a template that you use? I mean, when I went to college, I figured out very quickly a template style that I like to use to write papers, and I could sit
Yeah.
down and have a rough draft of a 10-15 page thesis in probably about an hour and a half, knowing how to now I know that I got this process. I can go boom, 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 and outline it, put it out, and usually get a good grade. We usually would get a good grade on it, depending on how much time I spent. But do you have a methodical process that you start with, or is something pop in your eye, you write down a note, something comes out here, and then
Um,
you go, "Oh, I'll take all my
I
notes and
will.
now do something," or how does that work?
Yeah, I will say it's different every time because first now we speak about my project like Thaylo, but I didn't make only this, in music. I also work on rap music, pop music. I also produce for some other artists. So it depends of like the way I want it. But when I create for myself, for my project, so for my love, what I really love, um, there's not a process. I think sometimes I have inspiration on one thing. Could be like the last week I was listening things on YouTube, with my AirPods, and I just thought that I remember, the movie Lucy. Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I know the movie Lucy. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I remember that I loved this movie and I loved the meaning of this movie as well. So I was like, maybe I could do something with that. And I watched some. I remembered also a sentence that they say in this movie, which is like, "Time is unity," like, which is something so strong for me. And I said, okay, maybe I will do that with this, do something like try something. But sometimes I try in this way and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I try and directly in like 15 minutes I have something and I say, okay, I have something, so I will work on it. But it really depends because sometimes I also take my piano, I just play for fun. Some things I try to get some harmonies, I also try to sing, but I'm not a singer, but just to feel like if there's something happening. Could be a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ways, but no, I don't have like a template. It's always different. The only thing I have that I use often is I have a sample pack. I mean, like It's some things that I use always, not always, but often, like my kicks, my drums, like
Hmm.
some instruments that I use. Uh, I have something that I put on my microphone to get my voice better. That's the only thing I can have with templates, I would say.
We were talking about how you stay fit with making all this music because you're sitting in front of the
Yeah.
computer all the time, and it's like, what do? You an active person? You get up and about and do some things. How do you stay healthy with the? How do you maintain a work life healthy balance in music production?
Um, yeah. So at the beginning, I asked myself how I will make music without money, because the point is to get money, but you have to invest energy and time before without money. So yeah, it's something really, yeah, complicated. So in France, we have something that like a statue, where I can like work. I work in spectacle, like sometimes also beside my gigs, just to complete an amount of hours that I have to do every year. If I make these hours, I have like kind of something where I have time also to make music. It's something in France that we have. I don't think we have there. Uh, I don't think it exists somewhere else. So yeah, it's something to help artists to start, which is amazing. So yeah, I have this thing that helped me since like almost 8 years. So yeah, I started like that. So I have my time before, besides, sorry, the job that I make sometimes, but sometimes the job could be like working in spectacle. Sometimes it could be my gigs. Because I also make some gigs now with like I have money with them. Fortunately, it starts to going well. So yeah, I also make productions for other artists, like I said. So it's something that also bring money. Yeah, that's how we can say in English, like when you try to find a way, um, while you wait the moment you will not have to find a way.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of patience. A lot of things happen behind the scenes in
Yeah.
the artist production world that paintings just don't paint themselves. Music doesn't just get produced by itself unless you're using AI. But I mean, a lot of the work, a lot of the contracts, the negotiations, all that fun stuff, all the back end stuff, people never see that side of the industry. And we're looking to talk with a lot more industry professionals on our series to kind of give more insight to that. You can watch YouTube videos, you can read books all day long. The information's
Yeah,
out there. But to really hear it from somebody about what their practices are, what they do,
yeah,
I
because
think is real world experience that you just sometimes those stories aren't heard too often. So
yeah, and it's really really long, even more at the beginning, because you have to think about where I'm going with my project, like the musical style, the artistic direction, the visuals things. So when you're alone, because that's always at the beginning that you're alone, but that's at this moment you need also help, but no one wants to help because it's beginning and there is no like engagement, everything. I think it's something a bit hard and tough at the beginning, but the point is to work really hard and to try to bring something personal and authentic.
yeah,
And yeah, now I work with someone. I have a manager and someone that works with me on the releases, on the visuals and the gigs, on the preparations of the things. When I want to make something, I have an idea, I can count on him, with the help uh, on everything. So it's a really, really good help, and it's really important for me to get him with me. Um, but yeah, was not the case every time. So yeah, yeah, I had to find a way to convince people that there's something. Join me,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
which is the whole.
you have 5 tracks coming up here in
Yeah,
the near future. Are all 5? The EP is going to come out September 5th. Is that correct?
yeah.
So what was is there is can you release any of what the EP is called, what the track names are? Can we get any tidbits of that now, or do we have to wait till September
Yeah,
5th?
yeah. Yeah, because I already released two tracks on this EP, which is "Let Me Be" and "Save Your Tears." Was like kind of a teasing strategy that we started to think about with the label, to like tease the EP. We shared two tracks, uh, and so the EP is now available on Spotify to pre-save. So yeah, you can already see the name of the EP, which is "Drawn in Your Eyes." Because for me, this EP, it's like has a lot of meaning, because the name of this EP is the name of a track that I made 1 year ago. It's a real like changement in my musical direction, because I started to sing on my tracks, because at the beginning I'm not a singer, but I wanted to go further, like I said before, like to try something different from the others, even more in electronic music. I didn't want to go like in the Beatport top 100 DJs and everything. I mean, I want it, but I didn't want to get this thing that we always hear, you know? So I tried to put my voice with a piano. I'm not a piano player, I'm not a singer, but I tried it. Just tried to bring like some ambiances with my voice, like just what can I do with it? I will take it and make something with it, you know. So this track is the kind of the beginning of that, and this whole EP as well, because there is four tracks with my voice on it. So which yeah,
Nice.
it's a real start for me.
And you said
And
you started.
yeah,
You said you started producing one of the first tracks about over a year ago. How
yeah.
long, or what's the longest time you've ever spent consecutively working on one track? Was that like the longest you ever spent? Is 1 year putting a track together?
It depends. No, I mean, I made 1 year ago this track. I worked like, I don't know, a few days on it. Sorry. Yeah, I worked a few days on it, but the point is, my vision is to take some time, some rest with my ears on this track, and come back later to just have like a fresh ear, you know. And then this track I worked and I let, if I remember, like 2 3 weeks, and then I came back with to work on it and to put some details that I didn't, this kind of stuff. But after, um, the the thing is, the label said, okay, we're gonna release the tracks. We think it's better if we make an EP. So I produced some other tracks. Then I came back on this track as well, because the EP has to get like a direction. Like they have to fit together. They have to get a story. So yeah, it's I made it 1 year ago, but I didn't work 1 year on this track.
Right. And
But
do you ever make? You mentioned you make a number of different genres. You dabble into different genres of music. Hip hop being one of those. Um, did you start with hip hop? Did you start with that, or is that something that progressed later on?
as a DJ,
Yeah, I said. Well, I mean, you make music, but do you ever make music out of your genre that never gets released?
yeah, of course. Yeah, a lot. Because there was a period like 5 6 years ago where I wanted to kind of become someone in the music industry and this kind of stuff. So I worked with some kind of being big artists, but in like a ghost, you know. So yeah, I made pop music because I wanted to really to go like in the front of the radio in the this kind of stuff. So yeah, I tried, but I was no one. So the point is, I'm not a singer, and in pop music we need singers, good singers like like Bebe Rexha, this kind of people that are amazing and good in making hits, you know. But
Mhm.
I didn't have anyone. So yeah, I tried to make it, but I couldn't. So I have like I don't know how many tracks like that without singer, just waiting. Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's special because there was a period, and I think that's why you always like ask yourself when you make music, because at this moment I was like, okay, I make music, but 1 year after was like maybe I didn't make music for the good reasons, you know. That's why I started Thaylo.
You know, and you have some upcoming shows as well. Being a DJ slash producer, one of them coming up August 30th, the supporting act for Korolova,
Yeah, yeah,
Korolova at Index. I've never heard of Index. I probably should have heard of Index in Dublin, Ireland. Are you excited for that show?
yeah. It's gonna be a big one. Like I think the biggest of the this year. Yeah, um, yeah. Korolova is an artist from Ukraine, I guess,
I,
Ukraine. So yeah, she's like one of the biggest artists in melodic techno now. Yeah, she's really good, and I really love her work. That's why also it's really exciting and a bit stressful for me because I listened to her like since few years. Someone that when I worked on things in my laptop, I listened to her music on YouTube because her set, and so yeah, I'm not a fan, but almost. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting, and it's a big step for me also because of the mindset. Sometimes you don't have anything that happening in your project, and you're like, maybe I didn't make the good choices. Maybe I'm not in the right direction. This kind of stuff. So when you have this kind of opportunity, yeah, it's cool. It's cool for the mindset. It's cool for the project because after we're gonna get called for some other gigs. We are now signing some few gigs that I can't really speak now because it's not already signed. But yeah, we have some deals in process, because of the whole work we made, but also because of this kind of stuff that are really they have a good visibility and this kind of stuff. Yeah.
that's a great lead into the next question I was just going to ask you is what do you consider being the biggest break that launched your DJ career?
Um, I would say in yeah, in my music, it's the first step when you start. My vision was to sign, sorry, with labels because I knew that alone I didn't have any contacts and everything. So my first big step it was like to sign my first label because I was like, okay, there is professionals in music industry that can be interested in my music. So there is
Mhm.
an interest. So that was the big step. But after there is the part where you have to play, you have to go meet people that listens to you, and for me that's the hardest part because making music starts to get easy when you're used to that. But making live is different because you have to prove that you're good not only in your studio at home, in your room or so. Yeah, that first big step in live was in this year. I played before Revo, which is a big name now since not a long time, but now he's a big one. And yeah, well, I made like the first act for him, and yeah, it was a big gig, and that's where also I saw that people love also what I can do in live. It's really reassuring.
What's one track that you currently play or would love to play at your upcoming show that you can describe it in detail why it's such a great track, that why you would use it, something that just really, other than your own music, something that you would say I,
Another that
you know
not a track from me, right?
yeah, not a track from you, something else that you play
Yeah,
that says I want to incorporate this in. I love this sound, I love what they're doing, I would love to include this into my mix. Here's a track that I really love by this artist.
yeah,
Who would that be and what
yeah.
track would that be?
I have like few tracks in mind, but I think one is do you know Pretty Pink?
Pretty Pink.
It's an artist like progressive. She's really nice, and it happened that I played her track called "Miss You" a few times, and it's something like crazy. When this track is happening, if you bring it at the right moment, people become crazy. So I think I will play it like not at the end of the set, but almost because yeah, I have to bring people in my mind before, and then yeah, I'm looking forward to play this track. So "Miss You" from Pretty Pink. Yeah.
Mhm. And speaking of crowds and gaining the crowd attention, was the biggest crowd you've ever played for also your best crowd?
Um, I think it was for Revo, the last gig I spoke,
Hmm.
because there was I don't know how much people, but more than 1,000
Hmm.
uh, in a kind of a small place, you know, not that small because you have to make people inside, but um, the crowd was like crazy because I was the first act, you know, people come for you, but also for the main artist, which was Revo, and I was like to make the first act, and yeah, something happened really crazy. That uh, yeah, there was like an ambience like really special to me. Really, people get like really cool with me. They were here at the really at the very sorry beginning of the party. They didn't come just at the moment of the main artist, you know,
Hmm.
and yeah, I recorded this set. He's like it's available on YouTube, but
Nice.
yeah, this one was amazing. Yeah, the full set is available. You know, we decided to record this one, and for me it was one of my best shows. So yeah, that's great.
Nice. And do you become a different person when you get on stage? Are you a different person off stage? Because,
Yeah,
just Thaylo is
uh,
Thaylo. Duh, I'm Thaylo on stage, and I'm Thaylo chilling in the studio.
that's a really good question because at the beginning of when I started to launch Thaylo, my point and my words were I want to stay me and stay authentic, to be like just me, not someone else. That was a really important point for me. Um, and after I stayed like that, but I made a few gigs and I was sometimes not really comfortable, you know, not in the right vibe. It depends. Sometimes was great, sometimes not. But I spoke with my manager and my friends and family and things, and you know, I decided like to stay me, the same person, but just to stay the same person, a bit more, uh, you know, in the mood, in the vibe, so a bit more exciting, more with the energy. So I'm the same person, but less chill that I am, because normally I'm someone like chilling, speaking like that, like we speak now. You know, I'm not like that, and that's really different. But I'm still the same person. I still want to share the same energies, the same waves, the same everything. I'm the same person,
Hmm.
but more crazy.
And if who's the most? I guess not if. Who is the most inspiring person you've ever met backstage, and what? Why was that person such an inspiration to you?
Um,
Whoops!
I think. Sorry.
I accidentally hit a button and put a graphic overlay over the top. My bad.
Yeah, no problem. One day it's he's French, but I he will know. Ah, yeah, there's music, right?
I'm trying to do some technical stuff while we're doing stuff. Live show stuff. Live show. My bad.
Yeah,
Bad producer
no
over there in the
worries.
corner. Get in the corner. Get in the corner. The cat jumped on the keyboard.
Oh,
Sorry
really?
about that. But the most
That's
inspiring
why there was
person,
music.
yeah, the most inspiring person you ever met backstage, and why was that person such an inspiration to you?
Um, yeah, like I said, he's a French man, so I don't know if you will know that, but um, his project name is called Helmut Fritz, and he made a big hit in France, you know.
Okay.
Uh, but it was like a funny hit, you know, this kind of hit that you hear in the radio every time, and
Mhm.
that he's funny. And I spoke with this man, and he explained to me that he made music since 25 years, a lot. He only made that, like, not a job beside. So yeah, his whole life was music. So, and me, I said, okay, your music is great, but it's funny. And he said to me, yeah, but you know, I didn't have the choice to make that. So I made that to make money, but my real music is not like that. I make rock music, you know, but no one's know that. So it was really inspiring to me because it started for me to it helped me to understand that when you want to become a musician, you have to find a way to become a musician, even if it's a way with a job, a way with making music funny, a hit with the radios, working with some artist. Like you have to find a way, and yeah, was really inspiring.
No, I mean, a lot of artists, a lot of people don't understand this. I don't want to say it's easy to become a DJ. It's easy to become a producer. Getting the equipment, watching the videos, learning how to do it, that's great. But to make a living at it is a completely different story.
Yeah,
And if 6 year olds can DJ now, and you have access to a million billion songs, or what is it, not 100,000 songs a day, it's some outrageous amount of songs that are uploaded to Beatport every day, with a million videos being uploaded to YouTube every minute around the world. The amount of content that's out there, how do you get through the content? And then you look at producing, and you got to start somewhere, but so is everyone else. So, I talk about this a lot with artists, that if a million people all started the same pathway with the same gear, what's going to set those apart? You could have brilliant people, a million brilliant people, but somebody who spends $5,000 is going to be in a different category, or somebody who spends $10,000. If they all have the base same equipment, whether they're going to school
yeah,
for music production, whether they're hiring a PR, whether they're ghost producing tracks, and or collaborating with artists that they're paying for that opportunity to get those, it's all going to be different, but it's going to set them apart. And what I found out over time, and I mean, being in this business for over 35 years, you know,
yeah.
that
It
money,
reminds me. Sorry.
oh, I was going to say money is kind of a huge influential factor, but where do you get that money from? You're either working a day job, because you can't just usually come right out of the box and say, I'm a global
Yeah,
producer making tracks and I just made, you could do 10 million downloads on Spotify, but that's only partial of a cent per download. That's not going to pay the bills
yeah, yeah.
usually.
But it reminds me something that David Guetta said about Daft Punk. He said that he was making a track with them like 20, 25 years ago. And he was like, but they are huge. They are amazing in music. They're really the best, you know. And they worked on the track. And Daft Punk said, come to our studio to work. And he said, yeah, but I can't be the same level than them because they have the big studio. They have the material, the equipment, everything. But he arrived at the studio, and there was nothing. It was a room, you know, it was a room with two speakers, and that's it. And they made like hits with that. So no, I think equipment is like, okay, it can help if you have it at the beginning, but you can also start with like headphones, and that's it. If you have ideas, I think you have the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just starting, I think, is half the battle. Same with, like, I can relate with my show, is that I was never supposed to be a host of an online streaming show that has 2,700 past episodes and be doing this for 16 years. But my show had to go on. And I wasn't just
Yeah,
going to wait for somebody to come along and be a host of the show. I can create content. I can do all the executive producer stuff and get interviews and guests all day long. But if I don't have anyone to do the interviews, well, then I don't have a show. So
yeah,
I'm now a host of my own show, and looking to syndicate and branch out internationally and go out there and do new, bigger stuff. And it's still part of my dream job. I love doing this. I love meeting people like you, that are coming up in the industry. I love talking to people that have been in the industry for 30 years. We try to talk with everyone. I'm not just trying to go after the big names. Anyway, everyone's after the big names. I want to get artists that are just coming out, that are brand new. And we've had some pretty early on, some names that have become household names in the industry, which is really awesome. Going back though to you, and being on tour and doing these shows, what's one of the most difficult things that you have to deal with when you go on tour, when you go play shows? You Are you like a fish to water and you jump right in and I'm ready, I'm on the road, let's go? Or
yeah,
is it a big ordeal, or
yeah.
what's the most
I,
difficult
I,
thing to deal with?
Yeah, at the moment we are not like the star DJ of this year, but yeah, we start to get well. The point is, when you're not a star, uh, sometimes the routing is complicated. Like, I mean, you have to take a flight 3 hours, 4 hours after your show. When you finish, like playing, for example, at 3 a.m., you have to take a flight at 6 because you don't have like the position to negotiate, the hotel and everything. It depends, but sometimes it's better. Sometimes we have the hotel, sometimes we have the food and everything, and we are really good, but sometimes not. Even more before, now it's becoming a bit better, but yeah, the routing at the beginning is not easy sometimes, and that's the thing. Yeah, you have to deal with it. You have to say, okay, but that's the beginning, and then I'm gonna get better and better. And it's always this vision that we have to keep, which is not always easy, but for the tour it works the same, fortunately.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. I'm planning a 2026 as we talked pre-show about going around. Now, I have a little. I don't have to be on site and on stage at a specific time, but I do
Yeah,
have to be on the ground and meet up with artists. And but there's sometimes when it's crazy, like ADE in 2022. I had a. I don't know how I look back on it, and there's an interview with a very well-respected, well-named artist who took like Artist of the Year that year at ADE. I won't name who because I'm still embarrassed that I missed that interview by accident. But just traveling from the States to Amsterdam, getting your bearings. I'd never been to Amsterdam. I'd never been to Europe before. I'd never been to Amsterdam before, and so just touring and going around and setting up and doing interview after interview after interview after interview. The next day, I just was like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to make the interview today," and I didn't do my pre-research on the artist to realize who they were. Oh, I'll just say it. I had an interview set up with Mal P, and this is when Drugs from Amsterdam came out that year in 2022. It was like the biggest hit of ADE that year, and I kind of just missed the interview just because being tired, being a little burnt out, and I wanted to be fresh for it. I like to be on point for all my interviews and get some sleep at least. Not and you're in Amsterdam for ADE, and I was out there. I think I was out the night before at Milkwig with the Silk Road, the not Silk Road, Monster Cat team. I was over there
yeah,
and doing interviews with them backstage. Probably didn't get back in till like 6, 7 in the morning. Just doing interviews. We weren't partying. We were backstage in the green room. It was fun. But just on the road, and you're just like, oh, the next morning I had an interview at like 10 a.m. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to make it. Just I was asleep,
yeah,
and that can happen. Or missing a flight. You don't want to miss a flight if you especially have back to back gigs. So, it could be
yeah,
different getting used to that schedule that a lot of people aren't prepared for. And you don't have when you
yeah,
say you don't have any control because you're new and up and coming, or if you had a bunch of
yeah,
money in the background, you're like, I'll schedule my own fight. You just reimburse me for it. I'll come in 2 days
yeah.
early or whatever. So
And I think we always have to think also that it's just a step, because uh, if it was so easy, everyone would make that. So that's reassuring for me to just think about it and just never forget it.
if you could host your own event without any limitations, Black American Express card, nothing stands in the way. What 5 things would you want at that event?
In my own event,
At your own event?
wow. I think a lot of things, but maybe too much. So I have to think,
That's why
like,
you
to
get
get
5.
the most important. Yeah. Yeah, I think I will want like fireworks, because I think it's a sensation that you, as a DJ, when you play your music and there is like fireworks and everything. Yeah, I think it's amazing. Yeah, this sensation. I still don't know that, but yeah, fireworks. Um, I would say like maybe a bus, where with a DJ inside the bus, like playing around the people. I don't know, something like that. Um, Maybe like some snow in the floor, that people are in the snow. Maybe I don't know too much things. Like, um, I don't know. Wow, because I have some ideas, but they don't work together.
We had Sebastian Bronk back 2020, maybe 2021. He mentioned snow and it brought it up to me. They actually took an entire DJ booth up to the top to the ski resort, took it all the way to the top of the mountain, set up multicams and made an exclusive mix for us at the DJ sessions. And I mean, it was crystal clear. It was awesome footage. I mean, we got some really cool exclusive mix sets. But when you said snow, that popped in my head. You know, I know you've said you've had some accolades, some praise from like Norn and Pure, and
Yeah,
I remember watching one of her sets. She was up. I don't know if you saw it with the drone footage. She was up in the mountains. It might have been a
yeah,
circle set. I don't know if it was a circle set or not, but it was a really going out to those locations and filming, but there wasn't a crowd. It
yeah,
was just like her with the film crew. But you could almost see like, what if there were like 10,000 people in this whole valley, mountain valley, like with
yeah,
lights in the mountains and everything. It was just really amazing, really awesome. So,
yeah. She's from Switzerland, and
mm,
yeah, there were a lot of amazing landscapes there,
mm.
mountains and everything.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
talking. We were gonna do during Pandy. We were toying with the idea of doing shows from a hot air balloon. Um, but then somebody showed me like 2 weeks later. They showed me somebody's doing it from a hot air balloon. I'm like, there goes our idea. Plus, it was just a little cost prohibitive to spend like three
yeah,
thousand dollars to rent a gondola booth to go up and get a 1 hour DJ set. I was like, nah,
yeah,
no, 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 not in the budget. But doing crazy stuff like that, I think it's really awesome that
yeah,
online live DJ sets and even DJ sets in general of becoming more cinematic and more part
yeah,
more accepted as a medium to watch because before Pandy I'd say, oh, we have a live streaming DJ show, and people would go, why would anyone want to watch a DJ live on live? And I'm like,
yeah,
do you ever listen to the radio? Maybe they could just listen to it, but if they want to watch, and it's kind of cool because we do interviews. And then I'd say, oh, well, yeah, well, we're a Twitch featured partner. And they'd say, what's Twitch? And I'd be like, okay. Okay, now everyone knows it's a household name in the music world for
yeah,
distributing music and live streaming artists. It's a thing. People are making, like we jumped back earlier to making money. People are making money doing this. It helps support some of
yeah.
the back end costs of doing a lot of getting out there as an artist. If you could change one thing that bothers you, and this is not be for directly your market or the European market, but one thing that bothers you in the electronic music scene, what would that be, and how do you think we should go about changing that?
I think you touched a point that is important for me. Yeah, uh, the point is we are DJ. We are there to make people happy, feel just spend a good night, enjoying music and just the vibes and everything. So I think the phones and everything doesn't help that because you're not into it. So the point is the parties that doesn't get the right way sometimes. That's why some company like Circle, this kind of stuff, they put a no fun policy, because we are there to be there. If we are there to just watch from our phone, it doesn't make any sense. Unfortunately, as a DJ, I would say if people record me like a video and post on Instagram, it's good for me because it's like visibility. But at the same time, it's not what I want to share as a DJ and as a music producer, because I want to share my productions, my work. I don't want only to play the music from others. I want to share something with people. But with a lot of screen and everything, it's different. It's a show. It's not a DJ set. That's why, like you said before, a DJ set is here to be listened, not to be watched at the
Mhm.
beginning. yeah, the things change because of the new generations, and we have to our brain also change. This, yeah. So for me, the best thing is playing music as a live show with with piano, singing, or a live show, or as a DJ just playing music.
I'm a big proponent of no phones in clubs. We had a little party here once in Seattle a few years back. I heard it went really well. It was an experiment. It never went it forward from there, unfortunately. But when I was in Berlin last year, I went to a club and yep, they put a sticker over the phone, boom, boom, on each side. You got caught. You're asked once, don't do it. Twice, you're exited from the club. I think it's going to be something that we're going to start seeing on DJ writers and event writers, to say, look, you have to initiate a no phone policy. And almost to the fact that the DJs have to stand, either the clubs band together and do it as a whole, or the DJs come in and say, hey, I have a no filming policy, and that's going to be standard. And it could be a clause in their writer that says, if I catch this happening, I'm going to stop the show. You still owe me my money, and I'm stopping the show production, and I'm
Yeah.
walking out. Maybe they don't get signed because of that. Maybe clubs will say, hey, because we're getting so many demands on this, we're just going to internally make it for our club, our security knows, and bam, that way it doesn't have to be forced by the artist in their writer to have that happen. Because I was talking with my friend about this the other night. The industry's changed because of the dopamine kick people are looking for, to be that Instagram model, that Instagram person. And here they are on the dance floor trying to line up the perfect selfie shot. And they're not, we didn't have cell phones when I was a kid in the club. I'm not
Yeah.
bitching. I use my cell phone. I watch the show. I'm old school like that. That's how I was raised in nightclubs. Not to say, and I'm also in video production too. So I know the video is going to look like crap. The audio is going to sound like crap. And I don't want that going out. If I'm a bona fide,
Yeah.
legitimate video producer, they're going to be like, Darren, why does your video look like crap? I don't want to put something
Yeah.
out like that, so I wouldn't do that as a video producer, you know. But
Yeah, I have a
yeah,
friend that came into no fun policy party recently, like few months ago, and he told me like, imagine just one thing is like that we forgot is like, if you're with friends, you have to say to them, "I'm going to the toilet." We join there. Like your brain starting to work. You know that if you don't find them because there is like 5,000 people, you can't call them. So you have to organize, which is something that we forget. And imagine the people that are now 15 years old. They never knew how it worked before.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
young, but I knew that.
And I think getting back to that, there was a story I read a few months back about this group. They said our number one song that we always play at our concerts, it's a big one, and we get such an energy rush from the crowd. But now they're seeing people just doing this,
Yeah.
and
The
they're getting
the
no
the
feedback. I mean, people are like, "Yay!"
yeah, they do that, and then when the video is finished, they do that like
Yeah,
it's
and they
finished
and they, and then they
because the
do
video
this.
is
They go,
finished.
and where does that go? Are they tagging it? Are they hashtagging it? What's the moment is just captured for the what? Unfortunately, Kodak, the film company, is going out of business, filing bankruptcy again. They need to bring back disposable cameras, and they need to bring back like disposable cameras, but they're disposable digital cameras. And then those digital cameras have a mount that you can record video and you can take a certain amount of pictures, and that's what's allowed to be used at the event. So once you fill that up, you got to go buy another one. You got to buy another one. You got to buy another one, and then you can download those all when you get home. But at least you're not just sitting there. It maybe has a burst where it'll only record the video for like a minute. So you're only like this for a minute, and then a minute, and it's just used for those instant minutes. And if somebody's going to come out with this idea, and I just gave somebody a multi-million-dollar idea. Don't take Thaylo, don't take my multi-million-dollar idea.
Yeah, you're gonna put this part of the live off.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's interesting. There's more clubs, bigger stories coming out. I'm seeing in some of the bigger publications that some of the bigger clubs are now instituting. Like there was a new club that opened up in Ibiza that just instituted a no cell phone on the dance floor policy. But a lot of these clubs, the dance floor is the bar, is the club. So I think they should do it. I think it's. I'm not a hater of it. It just like you said, 15 years old, they don't know. This is just I have a phone. It's natural. Let's go. You know, um,
Yeah,
so
that's a bit sad.
yeah. I mean, it's technology and how it goes. Hey, though, when you're not entertaining others, what do you do to entertain yourself? What do you do? What does Thaylo do in his spare time, free time, other than make music and get up on stage?
Sorry,
Oh,
I
oh,
didn't hear the last sentence. Sorry.
oh. What do you do when you're not entertaining others? Like, what do you like to do in your spare time, your free time?
Um, I love to play tennis. When I was young, I played a lot. Like I made competition. Like every day I played for like 10 years. So now I don't have the time, but sometimes I try to play also a bit. I'm going to running. I'm trying to play video games sometimes when I have the time, but it's like not so important, and it's only when I really have time. I'm watching series, trying also to travel because I have a lot of friends that's living all around Europe. So trying to move also not only for music, Yeah, I think it's enough because I don't have enough time to make like more things for now. I'm working hard to get a bit more free after, sorry, to get a bit
Mhm.
more chill in the future.
Nice. Yeah, you got to take that downtime. I just took 8.5 months off. Just kind of after I came back for my 50th birthday last year from Berlin, I was in this rut where I was like, what do I do next? What's the
Yeah.
next thing I can do? And where was I going with the progression of everything? And just taking that time off and coming back and resetting, I feel that my goals I've been able to now expand upon and take some breathing room. You need that. Figure out what you want to do personally and professionally. And now leaps and bounds are happening because of that break that I took. A little bit of a long break in the industry though, but we're back
How
up and
many
running.
time?
What?
How many time?
How many times
Yeah.
that I've taken a break?
No, how many time? You said that you took a break, right?
Oh, 8.5 months.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I just went boop off the radar. Like it was
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was what was supposed to be about 3 weeks for my birthday month turned into 2 months, turned into holidays, turned into I'll
Okay.
get to it after the first of the year, turned into I'll go into quarter 2 and start that up, turned into May.
And
So
what
about
was it
8.5 months.
helpful?
But you know what? We have a well-oiled machine over here, so I know how to pick it back up and get things going again. And a lot of people understand, the industry. Sometimes you just need to take a break. And when you're the boss, you can do that. I didn't have any doors that major commitments that I had at that time. But now I'm coming back with pushing out rebranding, coming back out in 2025 to really do more in 2026. Like we were talking about going internationally. Definitely would love to come visit you over there in Lyon and hang out. I want to get to IMF over in Barcelona next year as well. ADE
Cool.
again, Rave of the Planet, all those fun stuff that happens. Tons of fun stuff that happens over in Europe. Tons of fun stuff happens all over the world for electronic music. But is there? We're gonna wrap up here. Is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you get going?
Yeah, I want to say like I'm my music is available everywhere. I post things on Instagram because it's the best way to do that now. So if you want to follow me, the best way is on Instagram. And if you want to really follow me, come to my next event.
There you go, and it's Thaylo Music.
Thank you
That's
so
it.
much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for coming on the show. As always, we're going to stay in touch with you because you're one of the rising stars in the industry, and we always like to follow up with people and find out what they're doing, usually about every 6 months. Maybe if something else comes up, we'll get you on the show again here in the future. And it was a pleasure having you today.
Yeah, thank you so much again, and it was a pleasure to talk. And yeah, hope to see you soon.
Definitely,
Thanks so
definitely.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on
Yeah,
the show today.
yeah, thanks so much. See you. Bye bye.
Bye. On that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us there, and you'll find out everything we're up to. We have so much stuff happening on the site and more coming. It's all at thedjsessions.com. Our socials, 700 news stories, 2,700 past episodes, our new music section. Our store is going to be revamped here soon. Radio player, site-wide player, mobile app, virtual reality nightclub, and more. That's all at thedjsessions.com. I'm your host, Darren, and that's Thaylo coming in from Lyon, France, and I'm coming in from Seattle, Washington for the DJ sessions. And remember, on the DJ sessions, the music never stops.